Good morning. Garlic leaves. Well, this morning I'm harvesting them, and what I like to do is I like to harvest as much as I can hold in my hand, and I'll go chop them, wash them, chop them up, and put them in my freezer. So today is May 2nd of 2020, and the purpose of my garden is how to grow food so that I can lower my expenses, my grocery expenses. That way I will have more money left to put to work. I work hard for my money, and I like to put my money to work. So that's the purpose of my garden, to save money. So I have purchased garlics probably 2 years in a row, back in 2015 to plant. And the second time, the reason why I purchased them was because the first time I didn't find the variety that I was looking for. I think I was looking for Siberian garlic because it's very strong and has a lot of medicinal properties. But I didn't find it, and I purchased one, a soft and a hard neck. But then years later, I found the Siberian one, and I purchased it again to plant. So after those 2 years, I have not purchased garlic to plant in my garden. I just let them grow and come back. Some years I will dig them out and replant them. And I did that last year. I dug them out in summer, and I plant them back pretty much around the same time, before fall. And some years I don't dig them out at all. So now I'm just going to walk around to harvest some more. And let's see where we are going to go this time. I have a bunch of it because last year for probably a year or two, they stay in the same spot. In fact, the spot that I planted them since 2015, they stayed there. And that's this spot here. So last year, I dug them out. In 2015, I dug them out and replanted them. In 2016, I believe I left them, I don't recall. But last year, I dug them out to break them apart and planted them again. So just so that I can have more of them in the garden. And you can see that's garlics here. And this one, I didn't dig them out. That's why you can see them all together. Even though they are together, you can see that they are quite big in size. And sometimes they'll be small. I even let them go to seed, and I'll harvest the bubbles, and I will plant them again. So you can see that. Let me see if I have some here. Some can be big size, and some will be small size. But when you let them in the garden without digging them out, they tend to be small. So this one here is quite a nice size, and I cut some already. But then we can see some others here that are small in sizes, and that's this one. I have a lot of onions here, but that is garlic. So I'm just going to walk around and harvest them, and I think I'm going to start with this because I still have space in my hand here to add more to it. So I'm not going to eat the one that I'm harvesting now. It's for winter. So I'm just going to, but I have a lot of things growing in the garden. So garlic tends to have flat leaves. It seems like I cut some worm with my hand or something like that. Yeah, I think so. That there's some worm there. I cut into my finger. I don't like worms. You'll ask how I garden without liking worms. It's not like worms, it's like maggots or something like that. Oh, I don't like those things. So yeah, I'm harvesting them here, and I like to be very cautious the way I harvest my plants because most of them are perennials, and I'm making sure I have at least 2 leaves left on the plants so that they can continue their growth. So I might cut 1 or 2 leaves off of them. Garlics plants does not grow many leaves, so I just lightly harvest some, and that's how I add garlic to my cooking. And during the season, since the garden is growing already, I just come out to harvest what I need while I'm cooking. So if I need garlic, I will just come here and I will harvest what I need. I won't eat the one that I put in the freezer. It is for winter consumption. So that's how, even it's just May, I'm already stocking up for winter. So that's how I stock up. I build my full supply on budget. I don't buy garlic anymore. Last year I didn't buy garlic in the store at all. So I grow my own spices pretty much. And you can see them. So they are, some of them can be quite large. And I still have enough space in my hand to harvest more. And the reason why I don't like to get a bucket to put a lot in and harvest everything that I need to harvest, so that I can quickly process them and put them in my freezer. So I just harvest what I can hold. I think I still have you on. So I just harvest what I can hold in my hand, and I don't even need a scissor for that. And those are, I think most of them are hard neck. So I have a mixture here. I have Polish white. I think that was the first one that I was able to find, or when I purchased, I ordered Siberian garlic. That's why they replaced it with Polish white. And I believe it was from Richard's nursery from Canada that I purchased Polish white and music garlic. And music, one is hard neck, one is soft neck between the two. And the second time that I purchased garlic, it was the Siberian garlic. So garlic is high in, it has some antibiotic properties in them. So yeah, if you like garlics, it's good to add them to your cooking, but I like to be very light. Now that I'm growing mine, I like to be light on that. And I don't know if you can see this plant here, it's not garlic. So that's why I like to do the harvesting myself. This is a type of flower that I don't know the name. It's flat leaf as well, but it's not garlic. So if you are trying to harvest your own plants and you are new to that, you might want to pay close attention to what you have in the garden, so that you don't harvest something that is not what you are trying, you initially try to harvest. So now I think I have enough here, and we can just go and I will just chop them up and put them in the freezer bag with date and name on it. And then I'll come back and I will do more. And last year, I'm not sure I was able to harvest much, but this year, I think like I will be able to harvest quite a bit. And while we at it, I can show you garlic mustard. And that's weed, but it's edible. So I will be harvesting them as well and freeze them without blanching. I have 1 gallon harvested already, but I need to do more because they are weed and they are taking over the garden. But I need greens in my freezer for winter. Because I mulch my garden, I don't have dirt on what I harvested. So I'm just going to put you down here. I'm going to put the camera down here. And I will harvest them. And I will rinse them out. I'm going to put some down on the counter. And very quickly, I'm just going to rinse them out. And even if I plug this, you'll notice that the water won't get muddy at all. And I like to harvest those leaves one at a time so that I make sure that I'm harvesting the right things. Another thing I like to make with garlic leaves is cough medicine. I could chop it up and pound it in my mortar and pestle with my mortar and pestle and transfer to a glass jar and add natural unfiltered honey to it, and I'll put it in the fridge. But most of the time, because I don't have a large supply of this, I will use onion from the garden, and that will stay in the fridge for weeks. And later I'll squeeze the juice out of the garlic leaves or the onion leaves, or a mixture of both. and I will have it in the fridge for winter, for natural remedies for the kids. So that's our garlic here, and very quickly I will get a knife have my freezer bag here. And I have a freezer, a chest freezer just for vegetables. But a lot of time my vegetables will overflow to another freezer. So today is why I'm having problem writing on this. It's the second time. Maybe I'm touching it with water. Okay, so garlic. I had to ask my husband to see if he can find the one that I usually use. So let's see if this one, yeah, it's hard to write on it. I don't have that issue with the one that you just pinch the edges together. It doesn't make sense that I cannot write on the bag, and that's the right area. Yeah, I translated to something else. It's not working for me either. I'm going to get a bag. So this is a storage bag, but let's see that work. You see the way it's writing? So the freezer bag that has these to zip together work just fine. Garlic leaves. So it's very important to write things on bags, because once it goes in the freezer, it's kind of hard to know what is what. I'm not trying to be like finely chop it. Is fine. If you have time, that's fine. I don't. That's just the way I do it. And it smells like garlic. It just lighter smell than the cloves or the bulb. Now that they are fresh in the garden, I like to put in my salad too. And in some way, prepping like this for winter, it makes it easy. It makes it little easy to cook in winter time, since I'll have all my vegetables chopped up and froze in the freezer. It's just easy to break a piece and put it in the cooking. And those brown things, they will go back in the garden or trash. So since the freezer bag is now easy to write on, I'm going to use my storage bag. And I think the permanent marker will work on it as well, but it's not in the kitchen right now. So I'm just going to put this one in my storage bag. And when I use those vegetables, I like to wash the bags dry and put it away so that I can reuse it. But the one that I'll put meat on, Only I don't reuse them unless I wanted to put bones in them for to can broth later. But I don't use anything that will have raw meat. Bags that I'll put raw meat in it, I won't reuse it. I won't reuse them. So that's one hand full of. I should have put it in an ice cream, a 1 gallon ice cream bucket to see the amount. But this bag is 1 gallon size. So I'm just going to press it down to squeeze the water out, the air out. Then I'll just seal it. And what I will do is, the thing is when I go get more, I'll add it to this bag. But what I like to do is shake it to make sure they are now together. And that will lay flat in my freezer. I have 1 brown in it. It's not a big deal. But that's that. So let's go put this in the freezer. And I have the freezer upstairs that is more for quick to grab things. But I have my chest freezers here, vegetables, 1 for everything, and I have another one there for meats. But yeah, when things are overflowing, they find their way in different freezers. So that's my vegetables freezer here, and I did this one last week, and that's garlic mustard. I couldn't write on it, so now I have garlics here added to it, and that's my freezer. I'm out of vegetables from the garden that I harvested last year, but I still have a lot of corns here and some vegetables that I purchased. I have a lot of corns and I have a lot of rhubarb there, but mostly corns. The bottom is full of corns. But yes, it was all the way up, and that's how far we got it down. But once things start growing in the garden, I don't eat from the freezer much. So thank you for watching. I'm Afiavi Odune Liberman, creators of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel and owners of Nina's Soap. Now website is ninasoap.com. I'm going to continue that today. Was not what I planned to do this morning, but I think it's better I have my head on that, because the problem that I have in my garden is to keep up with things growing. It's the time to harvest them. So I better get going. Thank you.